Hello and welcome to episode 5 of our Inter-Save on Championship Manager 01-02. Now last time out, apologies if you haven't watched it, but we took a 1-0 defeat to Roma and the board were not happy afterwards. They've given us an absolute spray. So we're looking to improve this time round. Christian Vieri is still out with his injury that he picked up in the UEFA Cup tie. Now, since that time, we've had a Champions League match day, we've had our Coppa Italia game, and there's been 2 games in the Serie A. So what we'll do is a quick roundup as much as we can. Firstly, of the Champions League, let's get into the results from the 18th of September. Now, I've had Lyon beat Halmstad 3-0 with Patrick Muller, Juninho, and Sonny Anderson with the goals. Sonny Anderson, such a blast from the past. He was getting on in years at this point, but man, he had a career, and he's a cult figure for the Lyon faithful. Now, Sabri Lamucci with the man of the match as well. Halmstad not really doing anything of note. Again, you'd expect this sort of result in a game such as that. First game of Group F saw Lazio beat Schalke 2-0. Dejan Stankovic with the man of the match, and at this point he's only 23, as you can see, an amazing attribute. So as in real life, he's got an incredible career ahead of him and was a free kick god. Simone Inzaghi with the goal and Fabio Levani with the goal, with goals also for Lazio. Simone Inzaghi has been lighting this season up already. Out of 8 appearances, he's got 4 goals, so that's as good as a goal every other game for him. Schalke, no great performances there, let's be honest. Christian Poulsen, you'd expect him probably to do better. Andreas Muller, you'd expect him to do better also. Gerald Asamoah, definitely you'd expect a better performance out of him. So with them third in the group, let's hope that they can pick up a little bit more. Lokomotiv and Sparta. Sparta winning 4-0 in this game. Karol Poborski with a brace, 10 rating and man of the match and the yellow card. Radim Holub and Lukas Zelenka with goals also for Sparta Prague. As you can see, in that 40th minute, it was all put away just before and after half time. Real killers, those goals, when they hit you at that time in the match. Deportivo La Coruña and Celtic. Deportivo winning up by a goal to 0. Now let's see if Deportivo actually played a decent team this time around. No, they did not. Walter Pandiani on the bench, Diego Tristan on the bench, Valeron on the bench, and Roy Mackay on the bench, again before he went to Bayern Munich. So who knows what Deportivo are up to? Are they actually trying to win? Great question. Great question. Actually, I've just noticed Pandiani was subbed on at some point, and then he's been subbed off again shortly after. I'm confused. Anyway, Fran the captain, they're having a great time. Still took the win. Didier Agath, amazing in defence. Steve Guppy as well, having a great game. Henrik Larsson with the 7. John Hansen didn't fire up. Chris Sutton coming on. This is after his Chelsea stint, I believe. Yes. Where he played with Graham Lasalle and all those guys. So, and when he was playing with Blackburn with Graham Lasalle. So, great player, but has clearly not fired up in this game. Roy Mackay with the goal in the 80th minute. We said Yami Olby was injured at some point. Albert Luke also injured. Albert Luke. There we go. So we'll see what happens with them going forward. Feyenoord beating Rosenborg 4-1. Patrick Pearl with the man of the match and a goal. Who else has scored here? Mariano Bombarda, Bonaventure Kalu. Also scores Shinji Ono with an 8 rating. Song Yong Kook with an 8 rating as well. What a solid performance across the entire team. Kees van Vonderen, Ramon van Harden, also with 8 ratings there, which have to be happy with. Roar Strand with a goal for Rosenborg and the 7 rating. We had a chat about him in the last time we wrapped up UEFA Champions League action. In a game close to my heart, Group H, Leverkusen and Arsenal, both these teams I've followed for the last 20 years passionately. Jens Novotny with an 8, Bernd Schneider with an 8, Dimitar Berbatov with the 7 and the goal, Zoltan Sebsen coming in with a 7. What have we got on the Arsenal side of things? Ashley Cole with an 8, Freddie Ljungberg with an 8, Ray Parlour with an 8, Kanu 9, man of the match and the goal, Jermaine Pennant with a yellow card and a 7, Sylvain Wiltord coming off the bench in the 54th minute and getting an 8 rating. That is a phenomenal performance from him. Was there anything else to take note of? Borowka injured in the 57th minute, which is disappointing. Looking at that, you'd have to say Arsenal should have won too. 7 shots on target. You'd expect Hans-Jörg Butt to have a much better rating in goal than a 7 with that many shots on target. Moving on, Lille and Olympiacos. Lille with the 4-1 win. Alexandros Alexandris with the goal for Olympiacos and an 8 rating. He is almost solitarily put in the performance there for Olympiacos. He could have been the only one who actually turned up for this game. Certainly the goalkeeper didn't, and I'm not even going to attempt to say his name. Andres Oliveira with the 10 rating, man of the match, and a brace for Lille. Tapia and Manchev also with goals. Tapia with a 10 rating as well. You hate to see 2 players with a 10 rating and one of them, it means one of them misses out on a man of the match. Oh, brutal. 3 goals early before the 25th minute, so you'd have to say this one was put away early as well. Moving on to the second half of match day 2, PSV beating Slavia Prague 3-1. Matej Kejman with a man of the match and a 10 rating without a goal. Phenomenal from him. Adil Ramsey with the goal also, and Mark van Bommel, the captain. Wilfred Brimmer also almost missed out on Wilfred there with a goal in this game. Pavel Kuka with a goal for Slavia Prague. Nothing too much else to consider there apart from PSV again. Could have scored more, probably should have. Real Madrid, I know a lot of people might have been hanging out for this one. Real Madrid and Parma, 3-1 win to Real Madrid and Parma again. Formidable team at this stage in history. Zinedine Zidane with a goal, Zizou, man of the match and the 9 rating. Raul and Ronaldo also with goals. Real Madrid, what a team. Even back then, you'd have to say this is a year prior to winning the Champions League against Leverkusen at Hampden Park in Scotland when the final was there. Zinedine Zidane scoring an absolute worldie. Like, no mistake, it was a worldie in that game. Seb Fraze had a rubbish timing for him, a rubbish timing goal there. Hideyoshi Nakata with the goal for Parma. Junior with an 8 rating, so that's fantastic for him. Emanuele Filippini with an 8 rating as well for Parma. So moving on there, Real Madrid obviously on top in that group. You'd expect Parma and PSV to be absolutely battling that one to the death. Brann have beaten Spartak Moscow in the Group B game 3-0 there. Robbie Winters, who is Scottish, playing in the, let's have a quick look. Where are Brann playing? I'm pretty sure it's Norway. Ooh, pretty sure it's Norway, but don't quote me on it. Yes, Norway, there we go. So Robbie Winters with the goal. Nieleko with a goal also, and Vosberg with a goal. Spartak Moscow just doing nothing. You'd expect more from them. This is... Look, the Russian team certainly improved towards the 2010s, so they weren't everything that they are now. And then also they've got the Russian teams in European competition. A lot of people know this. They're dealing with that offset season at this point in time. So European competition happens in their off season for the Russian teams. It always was a big ask for them. So Dortmund beating Juve 4-1. Whew. Lars Ricken with a goal, man of the match, Jan Koller, Juathan, Sunday Elise with a goal as well. that takes the that covers the 4 from them. Marcelo Salas with the goal for Juventus. From what I'm seeing so far, Juventus are not having a great start to this season at all. And let's remember, again in real life, the following season, Juventus will put down to Serie B for less than honourable activity. Didn't cover themselves with integrity for what they did in the seasons prior. So this is just before in real life when they take the drop. Man United beating Panathinaikos 2-0. David Beckham with the man of the match. An amazing player, obviously, goes without saying. Diego Forlan with an 8, Ruud van Nistelrooy with an 8 and the goal. OGS with the 7 and the goal as well. This thing probably was still looking pretty dicey even towards the end of the game. That goal from Solskjaer was quite late in the piece. Laurent Blanc injured early, and Rio Ferdinand injured early as well. So Man United with their backs up against it. From the 20th minute, they only had one sub left. Nantes has beaten Maccabi Haifa. Matthew Burson with a goal. Willy Grondin with the 8 rating and the man of the match. Having a quick look, Davidovic has the 8 rating and goal, which leads you to believe Nantes probably should have performed better. Look at that though, like Maccabi has not threatened the Nantes goal at all in this game. So at this stage, I'd be expecting Nantes, Man U, maybe Panathinaikos to challenge Nantes for qualification through to the knockout rounds. Sorry, to the second group stage. Yes, 2001, 2002, 2 group stages of the UEFA Champions League. Barcelona, like we've mentioned previously, having an absolute flyer here, 3-0 win over Bayern. They'd have to be absolutely stoked with this. So, Philippe Cristanval with the goal, 8 rating. Javier Saviola and Patrick Kluivert with goals as well. Xavi picking up man of the match with his 8 rating. Now, Michael Ballack sent off in the 40th minute, so before half time. No wonder Bayern was struggling. Besiktas Lizarazu with the yellow card as well. I'm going to skip over this. Fabio Rockenbach injured. How long's he out for? A few days with a cash leg. That's nothing too bad. Now let's have a look at this Ballack sending off. See what happened. Sliding tackle, man rather than the ball, and it was a second yellow. 2 yellows in the first half. That's unprofessional from such a good player. Really unprofessional. Moving on, Shakhtar and Boavista. 0-0 draw. Okoronkwo with the man of the match and an 8. There's a lot of late 8s on the Shakhtar side of the ledger there. Ricardo has saved Boavista in goal, I'd suggest. Quickly on the match stats, maybe not so much. That was a pretty even game. Far more tackles to Shakhtar, and they were dominant in the air. But again, magnificent game. Magnificent game, like it looks like it was balanced. Finally, Roma and Dinamo Kiev playing in Group E. Of course, Roma putting us to the sword last week. Emerson with the brace and a 10 rating. He's on a fly. Luigi Sartor with the other goal for Roma. Kiev, what can you say? Goalkeepers played well. Beyond that, they've shut Dinamo down. So Roma, an absolute threat on the European stage this season. Moving back quickly, now let's have a look at our last match in the Coppa Italia. We played Catania. Gave starts to Ventola due to some injuries. Started Recoba on the wing, as we suggested in the last video, and Luigi Di Biagio coming off his 5. We thought we'd give him another run, and as you can see, these 3 have absolutely justified their places in the squad. Nicola Ventola, we're going to need to try and work in a little bit more, even though we're playing a Serie B team. So 8, 10 and 9. respectively. But if we take a look at the match stats, it should have been 5 or 6. There were so many clear-cut chances in this game that we missed. We hit the woodwork on at least 5 occasions. 3-0 win, happy with, given we've struggled to score more than one up till now. But it hurts. It could have been more. It so easily could have been more. Now, quickly we'll take a look at the latest results of Serie A. Roma again with a win, 2-0 over Torino this time. Cafu, the captain, man of the match. Emerson with another goal and a rating of 8. Vince Montella with an 8 and the goal also. Montella missed a penalty again. He's making a habit of this. Let's see if they take him off those penalties. And Emerson also injured. This happened after the Champions League, so they've really made him back up his midweek performance against Torino. The other game in Serie A, Udinese playing Lazio, 2-1 win to Udinese. Sotil with the man of the match and the goal, 9 rating. Carsten Janka with the goal and an 8 rating, also for Udinese. Claudio Lopez playing well for Lazio. Simone Inzaghi again surprisingly hasn't scored. Massimo Otto with the 8. Massimo Otto, I believe he wound up being a fringe player for the Italians in around about 2006. I think he played in that 2006 World Cup. Put in a pretty reasonable performance. So let's see how he tracks, and we'll keep an eye on him as time goes on. Now, preparing for our next match, we're playing against Como. It's in the Serie A at home. It's dry. It's 22 degrees. We've still got Christian Vieri out. Marco Materazzi also made his debut for us in the last game and played exceptionally well. So I'm not looking to make too many changes to the squad this time around. Cristiano Zanetti's on a 91 for his condition. Di Biagio is on a 96 and Ventola is on a 90. So I want to give them the starts, and then we'll sub them out as they get tired as time goes on. I'm planning to stick with the formation and tactics that we have. I'm not too worried about Como and what they're up to. Let's have a quick look at their lineup. Now, 4-4-2 with the wingers coming forward, so it can be potent. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. I'd expect them to play defensive against us at home, but not too worried about how they're going to play. We'll keep an eye on it. Just so recording this post-com because the recording stuffed up, checking out Como's tactics. They're looking at defensive mentality, mixed passing and hard. So we can go at them pretty hard here, and they're not pressing us. So we can definitely probably play short passing, keeping everything else pretty much as it was. Kicking off the game, let's see how we go. Baggio, Como looking good here early on. Already with a corner. Materazzi, fantastic getting that out. Toldo playing magnificently in goal. Crespo losing the ball. Goal! Out of nowhere, Crespo with a header. My word. He's finally put a header away. Wonders will never cease. Coco now with the ball. Crespo, Zanetti, Conceição. Oh. Tighter the ball. Inter on the attack here. It's fizzing out. Just fizzing out. Crespo again. Whoa. Recoba looking threatening on the wing there. Otto. And foul already. Just checking out how things are going. We haven't been making too much work, so moving to direct passing there, just to try and improve what's been going on. We've been losing the ball a little bit too much. It certainly changed the dynamic of the game. Como is still having a reasonable amount of the ball. For a team that the scout said absolutely not worth the time and going to be a walkover, this game seems to be a struggle. Conceição, alright, Conceição coming up the wing. Oh, Recoba. Oh, long shot. He's amazing with those long shots and absolute... Oh! We'll come back to that. Cannavaro from the corner has scored amazing stuff. Back to what I was saying, Recoba is justifying his spot on the left wing. Really happy with his performance so far. He's magnificent in attack. He's not as great as a defender, but you take the trade-off. You absolutely take the trade-off. So half-time, and we're only just ahead on shots. The foul count is higher in our favour. Passes completed about the same. Tackles we are absolutely losing out on. Headers are about the same, and they're a much worse team than us. So that's not great. Not great at all. Going to look at changing the tactics here again because we need something to change. They are absolutely challenging us for a team who aren't up to our standard. Even though we are playing from home, they are coming at us with their attacking formation at the moment. So we need to change accordingly, protect this 2-0 lead, try and take advantage of them on the counter. Kicking off on the second half, Di Biagio, he's picked up a yellow. Ventila injured. What a disappointment. He's been playing so well since he's come on as a starter. So looking at the change here, he'll have to come off for Calon, who's come in to take his place. The young lad, let's see if he can stand up to how Ventila's been performing. Crespo will keep in this hole that he's dropping back into the attacking midfield position. Marco Materazzi having an average game on his debut in defence. Di Biagio with the yellow card and still having an average game with the 6 rating. What do you do in those situations? What do you do? So we'll see how it plays out. Como appealing for a penalty. Oh no! You've got to be kidding. Carboni. Oh, he's put the penalty away. 2-1 to Inter. Now we need to really make some changes to make sure that they don't pull up an equaliser. And to be fair, the way they've been playing, they could easily pick up a winner too. Move to defensive. Protect the lines. Di Biagio coming off for Almeida. He's just not played well enough. He's picked up that yellow card. We don't want him to get sent off. Recoba, do you take him off? He's only got a 6 at the moment, but he has been threatening and he's still great on the break. Could move him to centre there and then bring on like an Emre or Okan. There's a bit of versatility in the positions that the players we have play in. So we do have options to shuffle the pack a little. Oh, passion. Red card, straight red. That's going to give us a huge advantage. That could be an absolute game changer. Swerving shot off the woodwork. Recoba coming forward. Oh, Crespo. Again, he's just not been lethal enough. Looking at that change for Recoba now, he was on a 6 last time we looked. But we've got Francesco Cocco playing on a 5, so he really might need to come off. Materazzi on the 6. The change is going to be for Cocco. We'll bring Cocco off and put Serena on. Go from there, see if we can shut down this game. And look at those possession stats. Absolutely dominant at the moment, away from home. Music coming forward. That's the final whistle. Inter have taken the 2-1 win at the Giuseppe Sinigagala, but it wasn't by much. That's a 5 shots on target to 4. The passes completed were looking a little bit better, but our tackling was horrendous. Have a look at that tackle rate versus Como's. And again, the headers in the air, we've only barely won that. Overall, a 2-1 win, which you're happy with, but should have been so much more, should have performed so much better. Daniele Gregori playing extremely well for Como, Depian Thomas playing extremely well, Benoit Coe getting his 8 as well. So they've had some great performers in this team. Coe and Jelenovic having some great passing there in the centre of the pitch. We've now got Crespo man of the match with a 9, 1 goal. Cannavaro obviously with his goal. Cocco was disappointing. Toldo has absolutely saved us with his 8 rating. Arguably could have been man of the match. The subs seem to work for us. Serena, Almeida and Calon all with 7s. So happy with those changes that we made, but don't know what else we need to do. We've scored more than 1 goal, thankfully. We've actually conceded a goal in this game, so you can't say that the defence has let us down. Having a look at the latest scores there, it was just us playing the game today, and then finally onto the league table. We're in 3rd, trailing Roma, who have a similar record to us, but are leading us on goal difference. Bologna's still there with a game in hand and a perfect record. So we'll need to watch out for what they're going to do in future. Quickly, let's check our news. Nicola Ventola he's out for 2 weeks and he's twisted his knee. So that's a worry with Vieri out and Ventola out as well, where we're starting to look thin in one of the areas where we've got the most depth. That's a worry. That's a worry. In any case, we'll wrap it up there. So thanks for watching. Everybody stay safe and look after yourselves. If you have any comments or feedback that you'd like to give, by all means, please leave them below. And until next time, we'll see you later.